everybody. Welcome back to In the Air on CricTracker with me, Nivedna. Prabhu, what an exciting day it has been of this test series. And let's get straight into, discussing everything to do with what really transpired today. Some amazing performances. Of course, we will be talking about, the stellar performance by Joe Root. But if you have any analysis to make, any questions to ask, please feel free to put that in the comments section. And without wasting any more time, let's get on our first guest, Rakesh Deva Reddy, who's a cricket coach as well as cricket analyst. Great to have you back on the show, Rakesh. We did miss this opportunity to talk to you earlier in the day, but how would you sum up what's happened today?
I mean, absolutely amazing test match. Yeah, I would say it is evenly poised, and that was a great batting by Joe Root. Everybody must have enjoyed, not just England fans. But more importantly, India's come back really well in the last session, taking 5 wickets, just giving away 70 odd runs in the 30 overs. Credit must be given to the senior pro Ishan Sharma and the fearsome bowler Siraj, who took 4 wickets. He just missed out of getting his name on the honorary board at Lord's Cricket Ground. But a fantastic day, I would say. We didn't even talk about the weather during the day because it was bright and sunny, and we watched the full game on the day. So it was absolute game. Both the teams really played well, and credit to England's captain Joe Root for his wonderful batting.
Sure, and I think one thing that really, even like Rakesh said, agar aap India ko bhi support kar rahe the, the way Joe Root was batting, you're just in awe of such cricketers when they just do exceptionally well. You could be supporting India, but you have to give it to the skipper for really stepping up at every innings in this particular series. But on that note, let's get on our second guest, Gaurav Tripathi, who's joining us once again back in the studios. Gaurav, you might have been a little disappointed with the way things probably went for Team India. So if we had to sum up what happened today, what would you want to say?
In the pre-match discussion when I was there with Pratay, and we were so scared as Indian fans that Joe Root might take this game away from India, and just like that it happened. He batted phenomenally well on this wicket. Yes, the conditions were suitable for batting. There was sunny out there. The bowlers were not getting a lot of punches from the wicket, but still it's an Indian bowling lineup comprising of Ishan Sharma, Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah, guys like this, even Mohammad Siraj for that matter. So it was a brilliant batting display from the England skipper, and he might have taken the game away from the Indians. The game is looking perfectly poised at the moment, but day three, it will be interesting to see how day three pans out. India need to bat exceptionally well on this wicket, otherwise England will get a mediocre total in the fourth innings, which they might chase. So I think fascinating 2 days of Test cricket is lying ahead of us.
And it is so exciting, right? I mean, if you have to really enjoy a test match, then you can tell the kind of quality of cricket that both the teams are playing at the moment. Lekin, we're of course going to be discussing everything to do with what transpired today. And to continue that, let's get on our third guest, Pratyay Tiwari, back on the show. We of course did speak to him in that pre-match analysis, and we also spoke about if the fact that India does not get Joe Root's wicket, then we know where this is headed. And that's exactly what has happened.
Yes, but a riveting day of Test cricket, definitely. And yes, we were constantly discussing about how Joe Root is going to be the key wicket. And that is exactly how it proved to be, because it was exactly dependent on him how the match goes. And I said it that if he gets a century or if he can manage something like a big total, this is where England's chance would lie to get closer to the target or maybe even beyond. And that is exactly what he has managed to do. And still left stranded, still not dismissed, and probably was looking set for his third double century this year. Previously gotten one against India in India. Yeah. Before that, he had against Sri Lanka, and he could have had another one here. So I think brilliant batting from him. And again, sun being out and the conditions being pretty batting friendly, and he made complete use of that. This pitch has still not deteriorated as much, and I think that in the couple of days we will have something very interesting building up. On the fifth day, I think that this could well be that kind of test matches which will keep us.
Pratyay, we'll come back to that, and we'll talk about all of that and get deeper, into the analysis aspect of it and what else could transpire. But let's quickly first take a look at the scorecard and where both the teams, of course, have left today. And of course, in terms of Joe Root's wicket, I think Anderson was far more disappointed when he got out. Maybe also keeping in mind of Joe Root could have got that 200 Prateek just pointed out. But looking at where they are right now, with England leading by 27 runs at the moment, Rakesh, I want to come to you in this, not in terms of how they perform. That, of course, it's out there for the world to see. But in terms of the 27 runs lead, there was one particular thing which is added to these runs is this whole thing of no balls that has happened. Let's talk a little bit about that. What was really happening over there?
See, sometimes it happens. There won't be any reason. Sometimes you tend to do too many mistakes again and again. And interestingly, in a funny way, Ajit Agarkar was also saying that they might be doing it wantedly. But that was in a funnier side. But seriously, nobody would want to do that because nobody would. I don't think there was anything wrong or anything. Maybe it was just the day that didn't work out. Not just Bumrah, even Shami also bowled a couple of no balls as well. But Shami
Yeah.
bowling 13, Bumrah bowling 13, 14 no balls. That is something. If he continues in the second innings, I mean, in the fourth innings when they ball against England, then they will definitely address that problem. But other than that, I don't think that is something a serious issue. They'll be able to fix it in the next innings.
Okay. Talking about someone who, of course, has performed exceptionally well is Joe Root. So if you could take a quick look at the partnership that, of course, did the absolute damage for India, but of course, it really cemented for, in terms of Team England. If you could look at that fourth wicket partnership between Bairstow and Joe Root over there, 121 runs out of 227. I'll probably come to Pratyay on this. Who do you think can add this kind of, a total probably for India on the other hand?
See, more or less now, because of England scoring these many runs, it's not a very big lead. 27 runs, yes, they are a bit, but not too much. So I think that looking at how things stand right now, it's
Yeah.
a case of that the first inning has kind of even out. Like it has been cut by both the teams. So now you can actually look towards this as a 2 innings test, because whatever India is going to set is going to become a target. So I think that going by the kind of form KL Rahul has shown so far, he is definitely going to be one of the key players to watch out for in the second innings as well, because we are talking
Yeah.
about Joe Root, but the kind of role that Joe Root played for England is the exact role that KL Rahul has played for India in this series so far. So I think KL Rahul is definitely one of the players to watch out for. And again, 2 or 3 promising partnerships already into the series very early from the opener. So I think that another person to place your bet on can be easily Rohit Sharma after the kind of show he has already shown in the first innings. KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma again will be important, and all the more because they are openers. So if they can again get that kind of a start, then
Yeah.
then India can kind of make a comeback into this game again.
Okay, on the other hand, of course, talking about the bowling lineup for India, we did have a discussion about Mohammad Siraj as well today. But then, Gaurav, I'll quickly come to you. Your thoughts on his particular performance. If you could take a quick look at Mohammad Siraj's stats, and for everybody who's joined in, अगर आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं आज के performance के बारे में, whether it's Team England, Team India, what you're expecting from this second Test match, do put that in the comment section below. Coming back to you, Gaurav.
No, I think मोहम्मद सिराजी was phenomenal on the day. हम लोग कल की बात कर रहे थे कि वो बहुत लकी थे कि इनको डोमिनिक सिवली का विकेट मिल गया because it was a delivery fired down the leg side and he flicked the ball and KL Rahul took the catch. But the remaining 3 wickets, he was phenomenal. You can see his economy rate. He was not leaking a lot of runs. It means that he was keeping the things right. And as a result, he got a 4-wicket haul. He would have loved to get a 5-er, but a 4-4 is nonetheless a very good figure, especially on this track when the sun was out. The Lords, it wasn't that traditional Lords wicket, which is favoring fast bowlers a lot. So I think amid all the odds, amid the conditions, he has bowled exceptionally well for someone who is just a veteran of 7 Test matches, and he has played a crucial role in keeping India in the hunt.
There is a
England
comment coming in about Siraj. Sorry to cut you short over there. Satyam says Siraj was simply unstoppable, but umpires call that always hurts India. Would you like to, take that question?
See, we can't say
Gaurav?
anything about the umpire. Yeah, I think it won't be fair for the umpires if we blame them about the umpire calls and all. We saw yesterday that India lost 2 wickets of Mohammad Siraj because he smashed Joe Root's bat and the ball was going over the stumps. So you can't judge the umpire in that. The decision that the umpire calls something like that is existing because it's a human nature. Sometimes the umpire will think that the ball is going to hit the stumps. Sometimes he will think that it's going over. So I think obviously luck was not on Siraj's favor, but we can't criticize Compire for especially on this issue.
Okay. One person, of course, we'll have to talk about apart from Siraj is Ishan Sharma. So Rakesh, I'll come to you about his performance. If you could take a quick look at his stats in terms of where in Lords to in 2018 versus today, quite some fantastic figures over there, especially his economy. Rakesh, if you could take us through his journey as an analyst, you've of course had some interesting things to share even during the World Test Championship final about him. Um, very
Yeah.
impressive performance today.
More than impressive, I would say this performance will give him more confidence because being a senior pro, having an experience of more than 100 test matches, and if he couldn't have taken that wickets in the last session, he would have felt
Yeah.
very much disappointed because he has got into the team in place of Shardul Thakur, and Ravindra Jadeja is playing by putting Ravichandran and Ashwin away. So in place, I mean, everybody was thinking Ashwin would have come in place of Ishant when under Shardul's absence. But
Yeah.
yes, it was an absolutely amazing performance for him because yesterday he was looking very ordinary. His pace was not that great. He was not getting the movement from the pitch. He was not swinging the ball. Even today, it was the same case. He was not getting any help from the pitch. But generally, for fast bowlers, you need some help from the pitch. But even when you don't get the help from the pitch, and most importantly, he was very good against the left-hander. So that is an important thing. So he's always a reliable bowler for any captain when a batsman is a left-handed batsman, and he took the wickets. But more than talking about his performance, the confidence which the 3 wickets gives him, that is going to be very crucial in the second innings. I mean,
There's
second innings,
one word that I
fourth innings when
fourth
Ishan comes.
innings, right? Right. There's one word that I caught from what Rakesh said, captain. So how can we not discuss about both the captains? Because everybody, of course, we've had this conversation, repeatedly about how both the captains have been faring. So let's take a quick look at in terms of, how Joe Root as well as Virat Kohli have been performing in Test since 2020. Over to you, Professor Saab. आपका क्या कहना है? आपका report card क्या बताता है? इनके अगर मतलब clearly Joe Root has the upper hand. Also, of course, they're two separate players. We're not supposed to be comparing them in any form, like even how Rakesh says, because there are times where cricketers go through a rough or a bad patch. But looking at these staggering numbers that he has, and this is just since 2020, what is your take?
Yeah, I think if you look at the kind of phase Virat Kohli had in limited overs cricket in 2016 and then in test matches in 2017, there was a time when he was getting back-to-back hundreds. There was a period when he got double hundred for 4 consecutive series, and he holds that record. That is the kind of form that Joe Root finds himself in the midst of right now. So I don't think that it's a fair comparison because Joe Root has had his own lean forms, and as is the case with any cricketer, that is something that everyone has to endure. So I think it's not fair to compare right now. If you can maybe even if you can kind of compare their overall record, that might still make a bit of sense because yes, they are contemporary cricketers, captain of their side. So I think that still makes sense. But yes, of course, if you look at how things have panned out for Virat Kohli in 2020 or in 2021 and comparing that with Joe Root, of course, Joe Root is going to look a lot better than Virat Kohli, but that does not mean that Virat Kohli is not a good cricketer, is not a good batsman. And also the fact that England is in terms of Test cricket, it's a country that relies a lot more on Test cricket. If you look at India, yes, they play a lot, but there is no country which is playing as much cricket as England does. So I think that all these things also factor in because if you see more or less their career has started in a similar fashion and in a similar time frame, but still you see that the Root has a lot more runs than him. He's closing in on now 10,000 runs. Virat Kohli is still not even into 8,000. So I think that all these factors are needed to be taken in, and it would not be very fair for us to kind of compare these in this particular year because of course Kohli has been struggling a bit.
Okay, Rakesh, would you like to add something to it?
Yes, so we can. I mean, if you're ending it, I would like to end this session with a controversial statement. If you
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, generally we call Fab Four: Kane Williamson, Steve Smith, Joe Root, and Virat Kohli. If you ask me a question, if you ask me a question to rate them in the order, I would like to rate it from down to up: Virat Kohli, Kane Williamson, Steve Smith, and Joe Root in Test cricket.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's pretty much what, when we've asked other cricketers, they've always probably given, a little bit of leeway to Virat and kept him first. But I guess looking at the way in Test cricket the Fab Four is, it's probably how
But
you know,
I
you have
gave it
just
from
said it.
down to up. So I gave it from
Yeah,
down to up. So number 4 is Virat Kohli. When it comes to
right.
Test,
No.
but
Yeah.
without any question, he'll be number 1 when it comes to ODI cricket.
Right. So Rakesh is like, listen, I've done the damage, but also let me do a little bit of cover up before all Virat Kohli fans, come after me. But, before we wrap up for the day, Gaurav, I'll come to you. What kind of predictions are you making for tomorrow? And for everybody who's asking about Virat, Ajinkya, and Pujara's batting performance, what is that going to be like? What can we expect from India? Don't worry, we're going to come back tomorrow once again in the pre-match analysis, and we'll discuss all of that. But before we wrap up, Gaurav, what are your thoughts and what are you expecting from tomorrow?
See, given the first two matches, Indian openers have gotten very good starts, be it KL Rahul or Rohit Sharma for that matter. They have been fine form, and I think the first hour of day's play, we have said the same thing earlier in the day. So I think the first hour of day's play is going to be very crucial. If these two guys hang in there and stay for 1 or 2 sessions, India can post anything around 250, and that will be match winning on this track, I think. So I think the first hour of this play is going to be very crucial. I'm backing both of these guys. I think either at least one of them is going to get 70 or 80. So I think I'm backing India to post anything around 250 on this wicket.
Okay, well, if that partnership, of course, we'll have to wait and watch if KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma will be able to recreate the magic that they did previously. But on that note, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to all our experts also for coming on the show. We will continue discussing everything to do with this amazing series tomorrow as well. So don't forget to join us on In the Air on CricTracker. Until then, of course, from all of us out here, good night, take care, and stay safe.